Welcome to Current Issues PNG. Now we are going to look at Prime Minister James Marape addressing the students of the University of Goroka about the petitions that students of the University of Goroka petitioned Honorable James Marape. Before we look at his speech, please subscribe to our channel to support us for more current issues, stories and videos like this. Now let's see.
Some investment we make it long school here. This university is an important university, produces teachers for our country. I want to speak to you in as far as our focus on the education sector after I respond to the petition. If you don't mind, I'll answer the petitions earlier, and then I'll go into the plans we have for University of Goroka, the plans we have for teaching fraternity, as well as what we're doing around the country, so you appreciate in the context what is happening, where we have come from, and what all of us must do as we step into our 50th anniversary of our nationhood and beyond. All right, thank you, Thomas. Your sixth petition to me, one was an issue on the petition to the government, brother. And me being head of the government, I have to respond. The Anti-Terrorism Act 2024, you all questioned the constitutionality of this law and whether it is dictatorial or it is a good law. And so there is one petition that you submitted. Another petition you submitted was the constitutionality of Section 145 amendment we did, and I will make response on this one. The third petition was on the Paul Paraka issue, the allegations of misuse of fund. I will make response. The fourth petition was on the possibility of re-establishing task force sweep that was disbanded in 2013. You've all asked whether it could be reinstated. The fifth petition was the observation that the reserve business lists are being invaded by foreigners, and you asked us to look into this. That was your fourth petition, or fifth petition, and the sixth one. You did ask on the quality healthcare, the healthcare plan of our country. So I will go through them, if you don't mind, Mr. President, and you can all give me ears. On the Anti-Terrorism Act, I want to give you all my full assurance that we are also revisiting this law as we passed in response to mitigating some of the crime that is facing us. We also revisiting this. We've allowed our lawyers to relook at the practicality of this law and based on also the issues that you've all raised, our own internal state solicitor, police, and our legal teams are relooking at in this law as we speak. We want a law that secures our country from abuse. Today we know at 2025 we have so many instances of violence, whether it's violence against women, violence against tribe to tribe, violence in the cities and urban areas, and this is defined as terror. You cause terror in society, we said that this law is supposed to address this, at all scales of terror in society. It is not supposed to be vindictive. It is not supposed to be basing power on one person. It's done in the context of the constitutional power that the police commissioner has. This law now subsumes the functionality of the law that police commissioner was operating inside, and it gives him enough strength, protection. Sometimes our policemen, we expect them to also be out there in the front line, but they too have lives. They too sometimes are exposed to people with higher guns in some parts of our country. And so it protects our policemen, but at the same time doesn't take responsibility away from irresponsibilityness by those who are enforcing laws. It is meant to protect our country, but you have enough educated people here. Pick a copy of the law. We too likewise reviewing, so that this law and any law we pass must be good laws that stand the test of time going forward. I want to assure all of you, not because you are petition, but right after, from government caucus itself, as we passed a law And you know, my caucus is a big caucus of over 90 members of parliament. My two colleagues here with me, ministers, will confirm. In our own government caucus, we do debate on these issues. What is it? Is it good? Can stand the test of time? Is it a bad law? And many have raised in one or two areas of the law, and we've asked our state lawyers to go back and look at this law. Only 10 commandments we can change. Any other law we can change. And so I give you my fullest assurance. If any one of you, your team, SRC, if you feel there's a specific area in the law that we need to amend, change, or remove, then certainly we will take those into consideration. But in the business of passing law, I want to inform all of you, law is not drafted by someone outside and taken in the next day to the parliament. If the national government proposed a law, then you've got offices like State Solicitor's Office. State Solicitor's Office gives its separate eye through all the laws that is being proposed. Then you've got office like First Legislative Council and Second Legislative Council. These are different layers of scrutiny every law passes through. And the anti-terrorism law is also one of them. And so to respond to your first petition on the anti-terrorism law, it is currently under review ourselves, so that this law protects our police, but at the same time our police is not reckless. They do the job diligently to secure our country from the insecurities we are facing right across all parts of our country. And I welcome any reference to a section in this law you feel that we need to change, and if it is consistent, if it is established as a law that doesn't embrace the human right in all the total aspect of our constitution, then we will certainly be changing that part of our law. But our main intention of the anti-terrorism law is to make sure police is working, police is protected, rest of law and abiding citizens are protected, and we get to deal with the ugly head of lawlessness that is emerging in all parts of our country. When I was studying here in Kabifa over almost 40 years ago, we would walk from Kabifa to Goroka and back in the night to come watch rugby at Lopez Street, or come here to North Goroka, a beautiful part of North Goroka, not just in Goroka, but many parts of the country, Rabaul, West New Britain, many parts, Millen Bay. You start to see people with guns running around, threatening people. And as government, do I sit back? How do we respond? Those who decide to cause terror in society must be dealt with. This law is not meant for those who are meant to be peaceful. If you cause terror, then terror must be met with full face of the law. Unless you live in somewhere else, I don't know, but I feel that growing lawlessness in our country that needs to be contained. You ask our governor, he will tell you, Malaysia, Singapore, they are democratic countries, not to mention non-democratic countries. Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, democratic countries, they are enjoying peace and growth because their laws are tough and they deal with lawbreakers in a tough manner. And I know all of you are lawful living people, but few amongst us who decide to continue on causing problems, especially if Taris, Anyans, Southern Highlanders, other parts, you decide to cause problem. I want to protect my police to deal with those who are causing problem, uproot them from society, throw them into where they belong. That is the intention of this law. Let's speak in an educated manner. Look through this law. If there is area where we must tidy, and we need to tidy on this, and so that we pass a law in 2025 that stands the test of time to protect our daughters, our children, and all of you as you step forward into a PNG. You need to live in a PNG that is better. I want to give you, in speaking on the law and order sector, 2 nights ago I launched our country's 2025 to 2035 National Law and Justice Sector Plan. It embraces everything in totality. We want to build a 10,000 police force by 2030. When I became Prime Minister in 2019, you had an aging police force of under 4,500 and 12 million people. 4,500 is a statistics that is a number that belonged to 1975. population. 1975, population was under 3.5 million. Today, our population is facing 12 million people. A lot more people in society, a lot more stress, and so police needs to be empowered. We're building police force up to a 10,000 force police, and to deal with any issues of lawlessness. We're also working with correctional service institution. Some of you coming out, you may be asked, the correctional service institution will be out on a recruit for teachers to work also as correctional service officers. So you could be teaching in our prisons and giving them rightful skills as they are in prison also. We're twinning prison with correctional services with education. We're also working to pay our village court magistrates for the first time now. Village court magistrates are paid, never been paid before. They stay in the village, they deal with everyday issues in the village. We also putting councillors on the payroll today. For the first time, that's why many are contesting in councillors these days. Some people I went to Tari over the weekend, and someone said, hey, me supposedly die at Lumlatai, now me contest the council now. He happened to be picking blow on blood, former councillor, now with the U campus, you picking blow side. I'm calling name Well, it's Lapune Mangolo. Before I'm councillor, I'm just planning field or put him. MBS are put in feed, he sustained his own life. He doesn't run on as a beggar, as a councillor in his. Today you are coming in to be a councillor, you don't organize yourself. In any case, me, people are putting councillor payroll and me too, like driving the style of payroll. Anyway, that was his motive space, but in any case, we're trying at our very best at the base level, at the community, to make sure they deal with lawlessness at the community. We're also empowering our magistral services for the benefit of your own knowledge. Magistral services deals with 80% of all the workloading as far as police prosecution and caseload is concerned. So we're empowering our magistral services. We want one district in our country to have at least a magistrate to deal with all these things, and then we're working with reform in the higher courts with the Chief Justice. We're elevating our Supreme Court on its own to be a Section 18 and 19 reference. We're inserting a new appeals court for the first time, and then our national court will be supported. Why am I bringing this to the conversation on the Anti-Terrorism Act request for us to look into this? All this work in the total law and justice sector is happening because there is a number one risk facing us. There is internal fragility due to lawlessness. And so we're looking for solutions to address lawlessness, and the laws we pass must secure our country from law breaking into the future. And the Anti-Terrorism Act was constructed at the backdrop of lawlessness in our country. I want to conclude your petition here by saying, look into the law. If you feel an area we need to improve, please let us know, and we'll make the changes. On the constitutional amendment, the Section 145 amendment, I want to ask our students on the other side. I think University SRC is uplinking this one, correct? It's uplinked right now. So it's uplinked, so please tune in into the uplink and you can have a listen. But hopefully in September, our auditorium outside that we are funding should be complete, and we should have a greater time outside. But in any case, for all of you inside and the speaker outside, you don't need to come in to see my ugly face. You see me enough. You just can hear me. That's sufficient. But the Section 145 amendment we did, and this is not the first time the Section 145 of our Constitution has been visited by governments before in terms of trying to amend. There have been various amendments, and I just want to go back 20 years, or 21, 22 years ago. The Mekere Morata government did a massive amendment in Section 145 that gave Somalia government 9 years to be in office from 2002 to 2011 until the constitutional crisis of 2011. So Section 145 amendment has been amended before. Section 145 was visited by many governments of past. The Mekere government, the O'Neill government visited that amendment, introduced an extension to 30 months grace period, but Supreme Court did strike that amendment down, and we went back to the earlier 18 months grace period. So I want to appreciate the wisdom by yourself and even UPNG. UPNG have petitioned Ombudsman Commission, and Ombudsman Commission has filed as Section 19 constitutional reference. So the Supreme Court has been asked to look into the amendment we did, whether it's not constitutional or constitutional. Now, the amendment is simple. We did not take away Section 145, subsection 2, the provision of introducing the 18 months vote of no confidence. After 18 months, anyone that feels the government of the day needs to be contested, then the provision of vote of no confidence still exists. We just introduced a subsection 5 that says that if you bring in a vote of no confidence and you are unsuccessful, then the government gets again 18 months grace period. That is 18 months grace period. If you look at a 5-year term, 18 months after the elections, when the party that performs well in the election gets to receive the Section 63 invitation to form government, they're in government 18 months, and if members of parliament are not satisfied, the entire process to introduce VONC remains. So it remains, but you move it, and if you're unsuccessful, then the government of the day gets 18 months grace period again. So you've got a 2-year period, 2.5 years in between the 18 months where you're not supposed to move a vote of no confidence, and the 12 months before elections that you're not supposed to move a vote of no confidence. So there'll be a lot of rumor running around. Maybe people become experts of law, but I want to give you a full assurance. I have no reason to lie to all of you. All words uttered in a public space like this is recorded. So full assurance to all of you, Section 145, the process of vote of no confidence remain, but if you are unsuccessful, subsection 5 is inserted, that government gets 18 months again and runs 18 months to do work. Now I want to give you all some context and historical context. From 1975 to 2002, we've had 12 occasions in which governments were formed. 1975, you all will be out there teaching. You're the most educated group of Papua New Guineans listening in today. And everybody is listening right now. And I want this to be a statement that every one of you must understand. From 75 to 2002, we had changed government and formed government 12 times. 75, the euphoria and hooray of political independence and the noble aims of the fathers and mothers of our country, including Somara's generation, that we must be economic independent with our political sovereignty. 1975 independence, 1977 first general election, 1978 there was a first motion of no confidence attempt. It's recorded in our history in Parliament. 1980, first successful vote of no confidence. Sir Julius becomes our country's second Prime Minister, the late Sir Julius. 1982, Somare comes back into office. So Sir Julius had only but 1 year in office. Somare comes back in 1982. And then in 1985, Somare's Deputy Prime Minister then, the Right Honourable Winti, through a vote of no confidence, Winti becomes Prime Minister in 1985. And then and some of you will see Winti's statement floating around when he was last in Parliament. He made a statement, fundamental statement in Parliament. As Prime Minister, he was busy managing politics than managing country. He was busy managing politics than managing country. So I could see why he said that. In 85 he became Prime Minister, but 87 there was an election that he had to go through. So 85 he's taken office, 86 he's trying to work, and 87 he goes to the elections. He comes back 87 trying to settle down and work. 88 Sir Robin Amaliu comes in as government through a vote of no confidence process. And settling in, trying to do work, he goes to the election. 1992, Pius Winti comes back in as Prime Minister. And then 1994, Sir Julius comes in as Prime Minister. And in 1997, Bill Skate comes in as Prime Minister. And 1999, Mekere comes in as Prime Minister. Remember the law, Mekere, most of you, all of us, me included, rated him as our country's ever greatest reformist Prime Minister. He introduced some fundamental laws. Now, who is Mekere? Mekere is not equivalent to me. I am nothing compared to him. He belonged to the top 4 advisors to our foundational government in 1975. Mekere, Charles Lapani, Tony Siaguru, Robin Amalio. These 4 brightest UPNG students picked by then government and Australian administration to assist the Somali government settling. So Mekere had lived through 1970s, 1980s, he becomes Prime Minister in 1999, have seen the downside of politics, and he introduced the financial reform, and he introduced the organic law on political parties and candidates that attempted to give stability to politics. And so the reform came in. At the back of this reform, he went out in 2002. Students wanted him out in 2001. They were assuming his land reform will rob the country of our rights. Some of you who were alive in 2001 know the Mekere Murata reform protest against Mekere. In 2001, when he died, the same voice that wanted him out cried for him the greatest. 20 years later, when he died, we all cried, oh, reformist Prime Minister. But he's dead and gone. He introduced this reform to try to stabilize politics. So from 1975 to 2002, 12 times we had formed government. Now, you are educated people, do your research. There's statistics now available online that you could study. Statistics from our central bank, statistics from our National Statistics Office, statistics from our Treasury, statistics from IMF, World Bank, ADB. There are many statistics around. And I want you do your research. I will not tell you what it is. I know what the number is. And I'll just say it in one sentence. The slowest pace of our country's growth, when you talk about employment today, when you talk about law and order today, every need we have for infrastructure today, it is dependent on the growth of our economy. When the economy is big, we have enough to feed everyone. Economy is like the mumu pit or pot, size from kaikai and economy. When the economy is small, we have little to finance all our country's development need. The slowest pace of our country's growth took place from 1975 to 2002. I give you one number. At 1975, our economy was 1 billion kina. By 2002, our economy was still under 20 billion kina. For a population by 2002, we were 7-8 million people. For a population that is 7-8 million in 2002, you need an economy that is about 100 billion kina to feed all. That's why when I became Prime Minister in 2019, I said, we must reach 200 billion kina at the earliest. That's simply because we need to grow the size, the pie, to finance our education, finance our law and order, finance our infrastructure, finance health sector, finance everything. So in that context, I'm coming back to that Section 145 amendment. Many of you are my children and I cannot lie to you. I got governor who sits in the opposition. And I got 2 brothers who stay with me in the government. The chair of being Prime Minister chair is the most desired chair in the land, for whatever it is worth. And the contest to be Prime Minister has been happening since 1975 up till today. We have not removed Section 145. It still remains. If a government is bad, majority members, you only change government through a couple of ways of changing government or forming government. The better way, the easiest way, the most popular way, the election time, and all of you as voters have the power. But after elections, you got a Section 145 process or Section 146 process. Section 146 is when a Prime Minister resigns or a Prime Minister dies. Section 145 is through the power that you have given the members They now, after the election, the members now have your power that you've casted on them. They're in office. And they have a 5-year power mandate you've given them, and they look and they decide. In a vote of no confidence process, these two candidates are proposed. The incumbent, the current Prime Minister, and whoever the opposition proposes. The opposition has every opportunity to propose a candidate that can alternate to get the Prime Minister out. And that process still remains. Section 145 process has not been taken away by this amendment. That process remains, but we've just introduced subsection 5 that says if you do not have the numbers, because in a democratic country, Parliament is a house of majority. Government is majority, opposition is minority. So if you don't have the numbers, then 18 months is given again. So at least that government of the day has 30 months to do the work. And in between and after the 30 months, if someone wants to move a vote of no confidence again, they could also come back and move another vote of no confidence. So I want to give you a full assurance. The law comes through different process. You know, James Marape so Karim Kamna, the passing, you got process for checking more law stuff. And when it's a constitutional law amendment, there's a higher scrutiny and higher numbers that is required to pass. And so the process amendment we did has come through the process. And just for giving belly seal on society, for those who feel that the amendment is bad, court are totally different from the executive government. Ombudsman Commission has filed a section 19 reference, as I am told, and they would contest the constitutional validity of this law. And if the Supreme Court finds this law is not good, then we are not in a place to fight with the Supreme Court. We listen to the expert opinions of our judiciary. So I want to give you all assurance that that law was passed with good intent, hasn't taken our VONC provision. Right now, PNG students' petition is now with the Ombudsman Commission. They've taken that petition, they've mounted a Supreme Court review, and it's going as I speak. All right, I thought that's sufficient on the Parker allegation matter. There's a court case running. I've been a state witness, it is there. I am not in a place to go into the full detail of this matter. But I want to give you all full assurance. When I was finance minister, I put a stop to that payment. It was brought to stop. And this payment has been happening since 2006. And so every one of you have every right to raise matter on this one. No one will run away from this country. As it was as old as 2005, 2006, when Paraka was, as a law firm, was doing business with state. And that was when NA was in office, and then PNC government, and now Pangu government's here. No one will run away. The long arm of law is there. If any one of us, including me, have offended law, then law will catch up on ourselves. So I just want to ask all of you, don't be impressed by those who have ulterior motives in their conversations. The lawful process is running, and the process, once retired, the country would be informed as to who is in the wrong and who is in the safe side of law. So there's a court case running between the former Deputy Secretary that under my watch I sack him. Under my watch he was paying Paraka 4 times, and I told the then Secretary sack him. So this matter is going through the court case. I just want to ask the students, in respect to the judges who are yet to make final decision, we don't discuss this in public space. There's a link to your 4th petition in the reinstatement of the investigation task force sweep. I want to indicate to all of you, task force sweep was an ad hoc committee set up by government of the day. We've now made a constitutional amendment. We now have the independent Commission Against Corruption fully established, has its own law that embraces this. We got 3 constitutional office holders who are running it, a commissioner and 2 deputy commissioners. They're running ICAC. At the moment, there's some operational issues right now. We look into this, but ICAC has been set up. And our country was talking about corruption since 1980s. The late Tony Sieguru was a champion of Transparency International. In the early 80s, they wanted to deliver the ICAC, no one passed this law. In the 90s, ICAC was still outstanding. In the 2010s, ICAC was still outstanding. And right up until we became government in 2019, I pledged to deliver ICAC. And when we passed ICAC in 2020, I almost lost government. Half my government went to Vainamo right after we passed ICAC. That's on record. So ICAC, in my view, to all my children, your concern on corruption and fighting corruption, ICAC is there. We should have some teething issue. ICAC will not take the place of Ombudsman. Ombudsman remains watchdog over those of us who hold office as leaders, but ICAC steps in to deal with corruption-specific issues. And it's an office that is there for any one of you to submit. At the moment, we making sure its structure is okay, and I've personally said no Papua New Guineans to take leadership, at least for some time. Papua New Guinea, we all have wantoks all over the place. We want people who are not linked to us to come in and run ICAC. At the moment, they're running ICAC, and ICAC, in my view, takes the place of task force sweep. Any corruption-related matter, whether it's at the LLC, at a district, at the province, or the national government, or anyone for that matter, if any one of you feel is out there glaringly staring, ICAC is the place to report. And we have also strengthened the police. Right now, the police section that deals with corruption is now headed by a policeman from Australia. We deliberately ask that you bring an expert to handle this matter, so we remove, not to take the place of our nationals, they still work there, but the oversight must be an expert, and the expert is now working in the fraud squad section of our police force. And so that is to indicate on the task force sweep that you all wanted. It was removed by the O'Neill government, and when we took office, we worked to restore corruption fighting constitutional office, and independent commission against corruption is now functioning to work with Auditor General, Public Prosecutor and Police to deal with any issues of corruption. And I just want to ask all of you, my government is giving big money to districts, to provinces, to departments, and to institutions like UOG. We will open up the portal for anyone to report on corruption. So those that are legitimate and prima facie case established, then the reporting system could work on prosecuting corruption amidst us. There is no point just talking on Facebook. There is no point just making public conversation. If you feel someone is not doing things correctly by law, you are entitled to report. And all of you come from all over the country. Like Taripori students who are here feel that James Marape or officer of our district is not doing things properly, report him. If someone at the 50th anniversary of a country, and I just want to speak this, the public servants ask a favor to do their job, report him. The problem is we also are complicit. Is it complicit? We also, corruption takes two to tango. Someone asks and someone gives, etc. One of the greater issues facing us, if all of us can be in a society that is meritorious and work on merit, then we could help in a big way. My government set up ICAC. We will not remove it. ICAC is there. We'll strengthen it, tidy it. We're getting more expatriates to work in ICAC. So you may isolate in one talk system. Now sour face stuff inside. Now let them all work. So in our society, taking this time as you listen to me and as you go out to work as teachers, be advocate of good governance, be advocate of good lawful living, and not to practice corruption right across, and better still, report what you see. All right, number 5, and I'll be done shortly, on the issue on the reserve business list, something close to this Pangu-led government. And I want to say part of our 50th anniversary conversation, as we step into 25 September 16 to 2026 September 16, that 1 year of reset, big conversation would be around this one. How can Papua New Guineans do business? What is Papua New business? A strictly Papua New business. I want to give you all my track record. When I was finance minister, I put the ceiling of local contracts to up to 30 million. In fact, I wanted to bring it up to 30 million. 50 million. Pure PNG contractors must get up to 50 million. But at the time as finance minister, I was reporting to a boss. So my boss told me, kept it at 30 million, so we kept it at 30 million. But I want to give you all assurance, September 16th this year to September 16th next year, some of the changes we're doing in tidying all our laws in our country will include reserve list. What is for Papua New Guineans must be for Papua New Guineans, constructions, or real estate, or coffee export, or timber business, or fish business, at different levels. Big plant, Mipla no got money, outside you can come partner in Mipla. When a Mipla can walk in, Mipla can walk in. This is a deep part of the Take Back PNG DNA. So I just want to give you all my assurance. If we arrive in 2026, September 16, and you don't see clearly the blueprint of what is our country's reserve business list, then you hold it against me in 2027 elections. But again, this is something close to my heart. I want Papua New Guineans to be masters of their own destiny. And business is a space that I want. You study as educationists, but I hope your faculties here are teaching you also how to do business. I encourage Papua New Guineans, you can work, but if there's opportunity to do business in where you come from, do business. You don't have to play rugby forever, my brother Sinan over here. You don't have to stop teacher forever. Sometimes all of you must think about business too. That's coffee, hotel. Today people are making road. Example, good road from Leh all the way to Hagen now. 2-lane bridges. Airport in Leh, we will introduce international flight. Goroka airport good, Hagen airport but good. This will be one of the best highways in the entire planet, where the most diverse cultural group and language groups run from Leh all the way to Hagen. We're still pushing to Tari and pushing to Pogra. That could be a hub of tourism and guest house and resources. It needs people to be in business. So we will tidy the reserve list. But a bigger question I put back to Papua New Guineans is, are you willing to sit the long hours and work in the business? I give you one example. When Tari I'm start along 9 mile. I'm quite gram. It's me, Tari is a message in Tari as an example. I'm start on 9 mile, I'm making a store block at store is a whole store. I'm studying good and I am renting from the Bangladesh. I have time to Mocha or Toko because now headman at Toko. So he's collecting rent. He's not willing to sit the long hours himself. That's the point. So we can put the reserve business list up. And my government is working. You all know we've put, since 2021, we put that money in BSP and NDB. We now look at this policy to put money in banks for soft credit borrowing by Papua New Guineans to go into business. So those facilities will be opening up. 2 weeks ago, we launched the National Development Bank, or National Banking Corporation rather. This bank will be nationwide and we will partner in lending to those who want to do business. My question is, are you willing to work long hours and faithfully? The fathers of our country in the early 60s and early 70s were strong businessmen and women in agriculture. I was doing grade 9 in Kapifa. I used to go and pick coffee in Ango Coffee. 1 kina, 1 black coffee basket, Mr. Opikim na Salim na makes him money by himself. Ango Coffee was owned by Akapita Wameri. I'm going to na copy to go close to go finish now. You may have beginning less to work about. So the point is, you can talk about reserve list. Your government will tidy this space and give it to you. But I need all of us. I need all of us to work those businesses. That is important to anchor our country as the economy increases. All right. Lastly, you all gave me on the quality health care action plan. We like giving Dr. come back to Yumi. We have a structure in the health sector where the PHAs at the province level, the Provincial Health Authority takes custody of all of our health in our provinces. Our government, national government just finances. This year, for instance, the last budget rather, the largest ever segment of allocation goes to health that the health department has ever seen, 4.2 billion kina all in all. We have a National Health Plan 2021 to 2030 that wants to make health closer to our people. And we are running behind a policy or statement that goes, health service must be within 1 hour of reach. And I want to indicate to all of you, while some are still being worked on, something close to my heart is almost being delivered in 2020. After COVID-19 came in, we saw that we were totally naked in as far as the health sector was concerned. And I did made a statement in 2020 that by 25, I don't want Papua New Guineans going overseas for medical care. Specialist care must be served in country. By this year, September 16, we'll have a fully kitted heart. Our Lay and Port Moresby cancer facilities being now tidied, ready to be opened, and we're working on our first kidney operation. You could do kidney transplant in our country. That should take place later this year. So 3 major lifestyle-related issues, and lifestyle is really for those who have seen it creeping up big time lately. In the 90s and 2000s, lifestyle-related issues, disease have eliminated many of our working and elite Papua New Guineans. So by the end of this year, we should have delivered heart care in our country. No more going to Philippines or Singapore with 100,000 kina spent or 200,000 to fix your heart or fix your kidney or cancer related. We are working, and I want to say, 2 weeks ago when I was at Lay, one sister walked up to me as I was ready to board my helicopter back to Najaf. She had tears in her eyes and she said, "Mr. Prime Minister, everybody else can say everything about you, but I just want to say thank you. The reopening of Angao Cancer Facility has saved me, and I'm going through my doses right now, treatment." Yeah. So, in the midst of many challenges, we're trying our very best for all of you, and health is an important sector. I cannot tell you all it will be fixed in 1 year or 1 term. If consistently for the next 10 years, if you all don't want my government in 2027, no problem. I will not lose any sleep. I have to do what I have to do, but if whoever comes in 27, stick to good work, fixing the basics, growing the economy, fighting corruption, fighting law and order, and together in our generation, we could make our country a better place. And I look forward in 2045, when our country is 70 years, that the country is a better place for all of us, especially our children who are coming after us. So this is why we are at work, and I want to conclude by saying, you students are close in our hearts. That's why when we came in, we introduced a new program called the Higher Education Loan Program. I hope that is assisting some of you. For those who are struggling, in terms of parents struggling to pay the full tuition, we introduced the Higher Education Loan Program. It is not supposed to be burdensome on you, but I did already indicate to the Education Department, for those who come out and get Higher Education Loan Program, but go back and teach in our schools nationwide, then state could look into writing this off into time. Especially those who want to remain teachers for a long time. Because teaching and teaching profession is important. You, as correctly said, you nurture the next generation. From your womb, the country grows. And I've made it no secret, our education department is working on this, on how we should look at work conditions for teachers. And no secret, I'm former education minister. I stand here and speak in education conferences. And because I am not clearly in the picture as to the total affordability of our country's revenue in the next 2-3 years, we're modeling what we can do as to when we will make teachers paid at a salary that is on par with amongst the highest public service in our country. But many argue with me, and I've argued with them. Simple. Teacher, teach your children well, the children become better citizens. You pay them well, they're happy and they're at work in the respective place. Last week I slept in one simple bed. My district assisted building Pori Secondary School. Before I became a member, there was no Pori Secondary School. Almost 15 years on, there's a Pori Secondary School. One small bed. I went with Mrs. Marape, so The bed was small, so she slept in the other room in a small bed. I slept in my room in a small bed, 3-bedroom, small teacher house. And I saw how teachers are out there teaching 7 remote parts of our country. God bless all our teachers. Without you, we will not be where we are today. So thank you to all the teachers, but I want to say to all of you who are here, it may be hard today. And I admit, time is tough, all of us. We're trying our best in the midst of the tough time we have to spread the care and spread the help to all parts of our country, whether it's in health, education, road. There were a few, in 2020 I took a chopper ride, some Marape connect PNG. You live in Goroka and you need road. You just go and ask Marawaka. You can ask Karami, you can ask Kantiba, you can ask Telefomi. And all too money, we don't need him road. You go ask Kopiako, Bosavi, Bundi, Simbai, Antablo Morobe, Antablo Mountain of ranges in Antablo, Lucid Nawaina, Kolom Kabu Meria. Only the road look only the road. There was one Sunday in 2020 with no protocol, no announcements. There was a chopper available. I found Governor Aveta, where are you? And he said he's in his house. I said, come out. I asked then Works Minister, Honorable Michael Nally, where are you? And he said he's going to play golf. And I said, I have a better idea. I play golf too. So he said, we're going to play golf. And I said, I have a better idea. Stop your golf. Come to Halifax chopper area. He came there, we got on a chopper, unannounced, we flew right through Kerama, over Kantiba, into Isiki, into Minyama, went back, touchdown into Kantiba. They didn't know who I was. I just arrived as Prime Minister in 2019, it was early 2020. Name was Sawa, but face on the Sawa. Kantiba, you know what newspaper or TV or name on Haram radio, but face on the Sawa. So as we descended out of the helicopter, they saw Governor Haveta, so they was rushing to him because I'm governor for a long time. Now Governor, hey, don't come to me, you're Prime Minister here, run to him. Hey, there's one over, yeah. I wasn't offered that day, I was line of place. I just asked them, they can visit us all. It happened at almost 7 church up close to so. There was 7 lines, so Sunday I walk with church up. Which was a line we start with us. I asked them, how are you all doing? And they cried. Prime Minister, if you can bring road. Today as I speak, there's a road going through. God bless all.
Thank you, Honorable James Marape. What kind of father will not visit his children to hear the crying? You have shown great care to your children. Thank you. I would like to welcome the SSC President Joshua as well to respond to the response. Thank you.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremony, the incumbent Honorable Prime Minister of the Independent State of Papua New Guinea, and member for the people of Tarikori, the Honorable James Marape. Thank you for your presence here at the University of Goroka. On behalf of the General Student Body, the parents, staffs, and sponsors, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for your presence here at the University of Goroka. On the same note, I'd like to appreciate the presence of the member for Ungai Bena and the Minister for DS, the Honorable Kinokafio, accompanied our Prime Minister, and on behalf of students, I'd like to welcome your presence as well. And Honorable John Boito, the Minister for Agriculture, and the member for people of Opura Walinara. Thank you very much for your presence here at the University of Goroka. And our very own Governor of the Eastern Islands Province, representing the people of Eastern Islands, the Honorable Samon Sia. Your presence here with your students here at the University of Goroka, representing the members in the opposition team, I'd like to welcome you as well. And your presence is highly acknowledged. And also, I'd like to appreciate the presence of our very own Vice Chancellor, hardworking Vice Chancellor, the father who always stands with the students, none other than Dr. Teng Moninga, for your presence as well, with the top management team members of the University of Goroka. On the same note, I'd like to also welcome our very own Chancellor, Chancellor Joe Wemming, all the way from Port Moresby, with the council members of the University of Goroka present here today with us to officiate this program. And on behalf of the students, I also welcome the council members led by the Chancellor as well. And also the students, staff, the directors and deans, head of departments, our cleaners and security guards, and the general student body attending the University of Goroka here in the Eastern Islands and the University of Goroka campus throughout our country. I'd like to welcome all of you accompany this program to make this program a special event that will be written in the history books of Papua New Guinea. Today, the University of Goroka in the year of 2025 is privileged to host the Honorable Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the Honorable James Marape, to respond to our petition, the 6 points that we have presented. I, as the President, representing the students of the University of Goroka, I would like to thank and acknowledge again the Prime Minister for your time and efforts you have imparted and inputted into this petition that we have presented. The students of the University of Goroka had drafted and presented. You have responded well, and we would like to appreciate the kind of heart that you have to respect the voice of the students attending the University of Goroka and the tertiary institution in the Eastern Islands, the secondary schools and primary schools in the Eastern Islands and Papua New Guinea. We would like to appreciate you for what you have done, your presence here in the Eastern Islands, and your presence and time here with the students attending the University of Goroka. I appreciate you and acknowledge you for your time here at the University of Goroka. The petition that we have presented has 6 points, and you have answered them all. And before I appreciate, I would also like to congratulate you for your victory over the vote of no confidence a few weeks ago. And now you are the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. And on behalf of the students, we also congratulate you as the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. According to the Westminster government system, the operation structure of the Westminster government system has vested a lot of powers in the people to mandate their leaders into the parliament. And those leaders will use their God-given wisdom and conscience to mandate their prime minister that will represent us in the national scale as well as the global scale. And the leaders that people appointed has rested their trust and confidence upon the member of territory and mandated you to be the Prime Minister of the independent state of Papua New Guinea. We would like to congratulate you and thank you for your presence. Our petition was just a document that we presented, contains only 6 points. But in the petition, it contained a lot of tears. It contained a lot of sweat. It contained a lot of trouble-minded. It contained a lot of lives of the people of Papua New Guinea. And we, the University of Goroka, through the voice of the student, we were privileged to present their tears and cries to your honorable office so that we can address these issues together and make Papua New Guinea a better country for every individual to exist and exercise their constitutional rights to exist in this country. And we can create a country that will cater for the future generations to come. And that is the idea behind the petition that we have presented before God and people and the leaders of this country, so that we, the students attending the University of Goroka and the other universities in this time and era, when people are trying, when people are dying on curable diseases in the hospitals, in cities and towns of Papua New Guinea, when police officers and defense personnel are dying on combat lines, on the issues and tribal fights that have been caused through politics and other matters, we cannot sit down and relax as nothing happened. So we have to clear our stand as students attending the university at this time, using the voice of the students to put everything professionally in document form, so that we can present to you as the head of this country in this God-given time, so we can address these issues. And any life that lost or anything that comes after, we will not be responsible. So that's the protocol that we followed, and put all the points, all the problems that people are talking about on the social media and on the secret places and in the bushes of Papua New Guinea. The families are discussing on national matters, dreaming about a road that will reach their communities, dreaming about a teacher and a medical officer to reach their communities and save lives, dreaming about kids wanting to see trucks and buses that are normal to other parts of this country. We would like to put everything together, and we followed all protocol with due respect to the Office of the Prime Minister, and we have presented. And this afternoon, when we want to start at the month of May, on the 1st of March 2025, the Prime Minister of the independent state, you have responded well in our petition. You didn't deny that some things you are not a part of it or you don't know. You said we are part of this country and we are fixing to make Papua New Guinea a better place. And this is a professional response from the Office of the Prime Minister that we can get as the university students, staffs, faculty members, and all the general the general people of this country. We would like to appreciate you for a very professional response this afternoon. On the same note, I, as the President of the University of Goroka, I also appreciate you for all the support that you have stood behind to support the University of Goroka in the years to come, and you have already supported us, and you will still support us in all the support that you have gave us. We cannot give you anything, but we also appreciate you for everything that you have done to us. Leadership is a journey. You reign today, tomorrow there's another people will come and rule, just like what happened in the past. But the books that you write today, the students and the people and the generations to come will read those books and will recall your name as Papua New Guinea exists in this side of the planet. So I'd like to appreciate you for every response that you gave us on the petition matters. With that, I got nothing much to say. The petition we presented is just the voice of the students and people. And the general student body here, they really appreciate you, because 27 years of University of Goroka existed as a university. We have never, or I have no record of Prime Minister's response to UOG petition. And you are the first to write in the history books. The Honorable James Marape, the Prime Minister of the independent state of Papua New Guinea, today, on May 1st, 2025, you have wrote a new book in the office of the SRC and in the minds and hearts of the general student body, that this day will be remembered as we walk in this life. So with that, I really appreciate you. You have supported the teaching community in this country. As the head of the teaching students society in this school, I appreciate you. There are teachers in the bushes, medical officers. There are truck drivers who cannot sleep daily. driving to and fro. There are people who are walking behind the scenes, have never seen and appreciated on the public scale. And you are the Prime Minister who started to dig these people out and really appreciating them with a casual kind of with words. In words that come out from the office of the Prime Minister, people will appreciate that. So we thank you and appreciate you for all that you have mentioned this afternoon. With that, we have nothing much to say. We really appreciate your presence, and we hope to see you again in September for you to open the building that is funded by the current Bangku government. I may be the president on a little period of time, and I will resign or finish from my journey and leave this office. But you have also written a very interesting story in my life as a leader who interested to join the political career in this country. God in His appointed time make things happen, and today we are writing this story in our books, and we will remember in life. So my request to you this afternoon, students in the years to come will cry to the office of the Prime Minister and ministers for help and issues that are affecting the country. I just wish this kind of leadership is maintained at all times for open dialogues like this and petition response like this. Change is happening, we can see. I come from a very remotest and coldest part. But now, in the Western Islands, we call it Tambun, very coldest part. We see changes happening, but some people are still lost. And we believe that the government today has a plan to make Papua New Guinea great again. And united we stand as Papua New Guineans. Divided we also stand as Papua New Guineans, no matter how far we divide. God bless Papua New Guinea, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's Joshua, great leader in this time and era of the students. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you. We have finally come to the end of our program. I would like to call upon the Vice President to make the closing remarks. Ms. Lynette Ryan.
Honorable Prime Minister, Member for Taripori, James Marape, Honorable Kinoka Fio, Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and the Honorable Governor for Eastern Islands Province, our esteemed Chancellor, members of the University of Control and top management, distinguished guests, staff, and students of the University of Goroka. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this significant program to a close, I take this moment to sincerely thank and acknowledge each and every one of you for being part of what has truly been a historic occasion for our university. To our Chancellor, University Control and top management team, thank you for your wisdom, direction and continued efforts in advancing the vision of this university. To our staff and students, thank you for your respectful participation, unity, and patience. You have shown the true spirit of academic maturity, and your voices have been presented with dignity and strength. This day will be remembered as a milestone where open dialogue met decisive leadership and where the bridge between government and the higher education was reinforced with trust and purpose. On behalf of the University of Goroka, I extend our deepest thanks to every one of you who contributed towards the success of this event. With that, may God bless you all, and may God bless Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you. Before I call upon the TSC President to make the closing prayer, the University of Goroka agriculture student staff, they have prepared something for the guests. If you go that way, you will see banana and all others. You can take it with you. Please make welcome again the Joshua Matthew, the TSC President, for the closing prayer.
Thank you again for the successful event that we had. We'll also thank God for everything that has happened. We had about 6 to 5 weeks of having expectation of having met the Prime Minister, and finally he has come and we met with him. And this is all about God. Therefore, we will thank God for everything that has happened and thank the leadership of our President, SRC President, Mr. Joshua McDonald Sua, for his heart, that God is in his heart, and then he has made these things possible. And we can have met with the Prime Minister in such a time as this. Please, I would like all of us to close our eyes, respect God, and we'll thank God for everything that is happening. Dear Heavenly Father in heaven, Father, we thank you for everything, every program that has come to a success. And God, we have been longing to see this time come to pass, and God, finally it has arrived, and everything that has happened, God, we bless you that you get every glory, every honor and praise in all things that has happened. Father, we thank you for our leaders, the top leaders of this nation who have come and God presented well the things that we petitioned, and God, we are more than happy to having the Prime Minister of this nation, of this great nation, and also the leaders who are behind this, and God have enforced this thing towards the successful achievement of what we wanted to know. And Father, we thank you for their lives, their leadership, God. In their leadership, God, you continue to stay with them, give them wisdom that they deserve to run this nation, God. Every leader needs wisdom. Every leader, they need wisdom to run the nation. And God, we thank you for your spirit who has intervened in the lives of those leaders. And God, as that have run this nation, and God, we thank you for everything. God, we thank you also for our Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor. And God, we also thank the SRC team, the President, and everyone who is here, God, for the wisdom that you have placed in their hearts and minds, that they can present boldly what they have in their hearts for the nation. And God, we thank you for everything, God. This program, God, we've been longing for, God, and it has come to a success. And we thank you for everything, God. Nothing of the things that has happened belong to us, God. Let all glories and honor, praise, God, belongs to you. We give you every powers and praise for everything that has happened. Thank you for this memorable day, memorable event that we have had, and thank you for everything. And we offer this prayer that God, you be continued with us, with the leaders, with the Prime Minister, that they continue to lead the nation, make decisions concerning the health and welfare of this nation. Father, we thank you, and we offer this prayer that you will continue to be exalted in our lives, because the Constitution of this nation has agreed that this nation belong to God, and God, we know that this nation belongs to you. The Prime Minister belongs to you, the students belongs to you, and every citizen that is in this nation belongs to you. The environment and everything in it belongs to you. And we thank you that you are in this nation. We thank you for everything, and God, we offer this prayer in no other names but in Jesus' most awesome and powerful name we pray. And every sons and daughters of God agree with me and said, Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated. And comment your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to leave a like.